Florida police brutality. Black student beaten during traffic stop. A black college student, William McNeil Jr., who was caught on camera being punched and dragged from his car by Florida law enforcement during a traffic stop, is now facing a long recovery from injuries that include a concussion and a lip punctured by one of his teeth. His lawyers, speaking at a news conference in Jacksonville, emphasized the emotional toll of the incident and the lack of accountability from authorities. That day, I just wanted to know why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out of the car, McNeil said, expressing fear and confusion about the situation. He is a biology major who played in the marching band at Livingstone College, a historically black Christian institution in Salisbury, North Carolina, where the school's president, Anthony Davis, described him as a student who contributed to campus life. The video, which shows McNeil sitting in the driver's seat asking for a supervisor, was met with nationwide outrage, with civil rights attorneys accusing the state of fabricating the arrest report. The footage reveals that officers broke his window, punched him multiple times, dragged him out of the vehicle, and delivered 6 closed fist punches to his right thigh. Florida's Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, defended the officers, calling the video a narrative designed to generate attention on social media. "There's a rush to judgment," he said, highlighting the public's desire for quick clicks and views. DeSantis claimed he had not reviewed the viral video, noting that the body camera footage showed McNeil repeatedly told to exit the car. However, the video also shows McNeil's car door being closed later, and he appeared to lock it for about 3 minutes before being forcibly removed. The body camera footage, released from a vantage point that makes it difficult to see the exact punches, leaves questions about the severity of the assault. Cell phone footage from the February arrest reveals that seconds before being dragged outside, McNeil was hands up, seemingly non-resisting as he asked, "What is your reason?" His lawyers argued that he was accused of not having his headlights on, despite the daytime setting. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump called on McNeil to ask for a supervisor, stating, "America, we're better than this. We're at a crossroads." He emphasized the nation's commitment to democracy and the Constitution, warning against a police state where accountability is absent. Local law enforcement officials countered Crump's claims, arguing that the cell phone footage inside the car did not fully capture the circumstances of the incident. The controversy centers on whether the video was a viral sensation or a deliberate attempt to create division, sparking debates about transparency and justice in law enforcement. Florida officer suspended after viral traffic stop footage. A single encounter on Florida's streets has sparked outrage and a firestorm of debate that's still raging online today. Few stories capture the fragile line between public safety and the rights of citizens, yet this viral incident, caught on camera, does exactly that. The controversy began on February 19th in Jacksonville, Florida, when William McNeil Jr., just 22 years old, filmed the moment an officer shattered his car window, struck him in the face, and forcefully pulled him from his seat during a routine traffic stop. McNeil's cell phone footage, posted to Instagram, quickly caught nationwide attention. But here's where it gets controversial. Police soon shared their own bodycam video, showing a different angle of the encounter, fueling heated discussions and dividing public opinion. According to the bodycam footage, McNeil was initially pulled over for supposedly driving without his headlights during poor weather conditions and failing to wear his seatbelt. When asked to step out of the vehicle, McNeil disputed the need for headlights in daylight and repeatedly requested a supervisor instead of complying, locking his car doors and refusing to exit for nearly 3 minutes. Eventually, after ignoring several lawful commands, the officer broke McNeil's window, calling for backup as the situation escalated. Reports later stated that a large knife was visible on the vehicle's floorboard, adding another layer of complexity and controversy to the officer's response. As the videos continued to circulate, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office announced that an internal investigation was underway, even though a local prosecutor had already concluded that there was no criminal misconduct by the officers involved. Sheriff T.K. Waters clarified at a press briefing, "The state attorney's office found that none of the officers violated criminal law, although our internal administrative review is ongoing." But here's the part most people miss. One officer, D. Bowers, was suspended from all policing duties while the department determines if his actions breached any internal policies, a move that has only fueled more questions and concerns. Sheriff Waters also emphasized, individuals are required by law to follow an officer's commands, regardless of whether they agree with the reason for the stop. But civil rights lawyer Ben Crump, representing McNeil, didn't mince words. He described the incident as a chilling reminder of historical patterns of police violence against Black Americans. This statement has ignited not just debate about the specific incident, but about broader questions of race, justice, and law enforcement responsibilities in America. Details from both the arrest report and McNeil's own video add nuance and fuel to the ongoing debate. McNeil can be seen with his hands raised as officers physically remove and restrain him. While police claim he ignored requests for identification and was reaching near a large knife, the video mostly shows McNeil keeping his hands visible. Was this truly a justified escalation, or a disproportionate response? That's the sticking point many can't agree on. In the aftermath, McNeil pleaded guilty to resisting arrest without violence and driving with a suspended license, receiving a 2-day jail sentence. Later, he shared with his followers that the incident left him with serious injuries, including a chipped tooth, stitches in his lip, and even a concussion. This was very hard to do. I'm not mentally healed from this, but I had to get the word out eventually, McNeil admitted in his Instagram post, prompting an outpouring of support, outrage, and polarized reactions. The big question remains, and it's yours to answer. Did the officer go too far, or did McNeil's refusal to cooperate leave police with no other option? When it comes to traffic stops, where should the line be drawn between compliance and civil rights? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you side with law enforcement, or do you believe force like this should never be used on a nonviolent driver? The debate is far from settled. Your voice could be the next ripple in this ongoing conversation. Florida police brutality. Black man punched, dragged during traffic stop. A shocking video capturing a white police officer in Jacksonville, Florida, striking a black man during a routine traffic stop has ignited widespread outrage and layers of controversy online. The footage shows the young man, William McNeil Jr., being punched in the face and forcibly dragged from his car by deputies, raising critical questions about use of force and racial bias in law enforcement. But here's where it gets controversial. Conflicting narratives about the event have emerged, stirring debate and dividing opinions on what truly happened. William McNeil Jr., 22, recorded the incident on his cell phone from inside his vehicle during the traffic stop in February. Civil rights attorneys Ben Crump and Harry Daniels described the video as a stark example of police brutality. The timing is notable as intensified scrutiny surrounds police practices nationwide, especially concerning their interactions with people of color. From federal agents wearing masks to local police, the issue of excessive force has come under a harsh spotlight. McNeil, a college student and church musician, expressed his bewilderment at the stop. I just really wanted to know why I was pulled over and why I was asked to step out of the vehicle. I know I didn't do anything wrong, he said during a recent news conference. His words echo a sentiment felt by many who feel unfairly targeted. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office defended its officers, asserting the video doesn't show the full story. Sheriff T.K. Waters acknowledged that force was used and admitted it appeared ugly, but stressed that ugly force is not inherently unlawful or against department policies. He cautioned against rushing to judgment and accused critics of pushing an anti-police agenda by withholding crucial facts. Meanwhile, McNeil, his family, and lawyers demand the immediate firing of the officer who punched him, framing the incident as an unmistakable case of racial profiling and excessive force. Crump stated firmly, "The sheriff can neither justify nor condone what happened. This cannot reflect the department's training, policies, or values. It's disturbing on every level." What do we know so far? Body camera footage released by police shows McNeil approaching the officer after being stopped, with the officer claiming the reason for the stop was that McNeil's headlights and seatbelt were not engaged, both required by Florida law. McNeil contests this, pointing out it was daylight and clear weather, so using headlights was unnecessary in his view. The body cam shows McNeil requesting a supervisor and refusing to hand over his license. He closed and locked his car door as officers repeatedly instructed him to step out. At one point, police warned 7 times that McNeil was under arrest and needed to exit the vehicle. When he did not comply, an officer announced plans to break the window. Colleagues can be heard encouraging the action before breaking the glass. Immediately after the window is smashed, the video reveals McNeil being punched in the face and forcibly pulled from the car. The officers then wrestled him to the ground, striking him again. This entire escalation from a routine traffic violation to physical violence has fueled debate about appropriateness and racial motivations. Crump emphasized that McNeil's alleged offenses, failing to wear a seatbelt and headlights in daylight, would typically result only in a citation, not brutality. He was punched, had slammed, and had a gun drawn on him. That is clearly excessive. He added, "This is about driving while black. Would a white driver have faced the same treatment? We doubt it." McNeil suffered serious injuries, including a fractured tooth, concussion, and traumatic brain injury, resulting in temporary cognitive and memory problems, lawyers say. Sheriff Waters noted the body camera footage didn't capture the initial punch. According to police, McNeil was arrested and charged with resisting arrest without violence, driving with a suspended license, and possessing less than 20 grams of marijuana. He pleaded guilty to the resisting and suspended license charges. Adding more complexity, the arresting officer's report failed to mention McNeil being punched, stating instead that McNeil's refusal to comply prompted breaking the window and that physical force was applied to subdue him. Another officer's report detailed 6 punches to McNeil's leg before he ceased resisting. McNeil's legal team accused the police of conveniently omitting these details from official records. Police reports said officers found a large knife inside McNeil's car and alleged he reached toward it during the arrest, though lawyers strongly deny that McNeil ever tried to draw or use the knife. They argue the presence of the knife does not justify the level of force used. McNeil maintained his composure throughout, reportedly taking punches without retaliation, a fact his lawyers highlight to underscore his non-aggressive behavior. Sheriff Waters said that McNeil had not previously filed a complaint or shared the video with police. Had he done so, it would have prompted an internal investigation. He also suggested the footage was meant to inflame the public, reminding viewers to consider the full context. A criminal investigation into the officer's conduct began soon after the video went viral, but the state attorney concluded no laws were broken. An administrative review is still underway to determine if deputies violated department policies. The officer who struck McNeil has been suspended from law enforcement duties pending these investigations. McNeil's legal team insists on an independent investigation, criticizing the state attorney's office for failing to interview McNeil and questioning the impartiality of their inquiry. They also demand the police release the names of all involved officers, challenging the sheriff's office to be transparent if they stand by their staff's actions. Lawyers point to a troubling pattern of violence and brutality within the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, stressing this case is far from an isolated incident. Anyone watching the video can see McNeil posed no threat, Crump said. He was peacefully asserting his rights and was met with violence. The incident also illustrates the painful reality many Black Americans face and the difficult talk many give their children about how to safely navigate interactions with law enforcement. McNeil's stepfather related his own experiences and emotional connection to the video, while McNeil's mother described the difficulty she felt watching the footage. Beyond the headlines, McNeil is a deeply respected young man, a talented self-taught musician and mentor to neighborhood children. A biology major at Livingstone College, a historically Black institution, he is known for volunteering and giving back to his community. The college president praised McNeil's resilience and strength amid these trying circumstances. This incident reopens critical conversations about racial bias, policing practices, and justice. It provokes us to ask, how can law enforcement hold themselves accountable in such charged moments? Should officers faced with minor infractions resort to violence? And what does this say about broader systemic issues? We invite you to share your thoughts below. Do you agree with the sheriff's defense or the calls for an independent probe? Is this another tragic example of driving while Black, Or is the situation more nuanced? Your voice matters in this vital dialogue.